All right, let's do a Demi color tutorial. So Demi color are these little bitty colored tins. It works with color theory. Through my process, how I put it on. These are all of my colors. I put them in one of these little compacts that I use. They work on color theory. It's undetectable on the skin. It's just going to take care of filtering out all these little distractions. It just comes on you softly. Like, it's not like, wow, I put this color there and you actually see it and you see it immediately. It's like artwork. You start at the beginning and you actually see the end result at the very end. So I took it before and I'll take an after when I get through. The concept works with balancing color on your skin. Instead of covering it up, we're going to use a filter, a color filter. So these products, these colors, you can see through them like stained glass. If I have a red stained glass and I put a green stained glass in front of it and light comes through both of those, they're going to come towards the middle and be something kind of a neutral beige brown color. So if I have something on my skin that has excess color of green, like this age spot here is got a lot of excess muddy green color. So if I put something that has like red in it and light goes through that product, because this is not opaque, and it goes through it and it goes into the skin through that spot and it comes back out and it's filtered and it looks neutral. I'm not getting rid of color, I'm just balancing out color. Gypsy. I've got my grand dog here with me. Say hey, Chippy. Let me get her in here. Look. Jeez. I have to be cautious because when I'm not paying attention, she likes to eat things like shoes, money, pencils, books, whatever. She's a golden doodle, so she likes to retrieve stuff. So I have to make sure she's right here with me. Okay, you're gonna have to get out of the way now. Okay, so first I want to start off with Sculpt. Sculpt is like contour. Here's some of the Sculpt colors that, okay, I should have not given her any attention. It works the same way. Gypsy, Gypsy, Gypsy. Gosh, I hope she's not eating something like our dinner. Sit right here. So I'm going to start with Sculpt. Sculpt is I'm going to accentuate my natural structure of my face. I'm going to start with the cheekbones. I'm going to start with a kind of a fluffy brush. It's kind of in between. It's not too fluffy. It's not too, here's a fluffy end I use for cheeks. So I'm going to use this narrow one. So I'm going to first start with red and orange. I need a red orange. The reason why, I have hyperpigmentation here and I have some veins that come through. My skin is kind of translucent. I want to kind of diffuse that. So I get a little red and a little orange at the same time and just use them as a red orange. Now you can mix colors like that, but you wouldn't want to mix a red and a green because they cancel each other out. So I'm using a red orange to take care of hyperpigmentation and the blue veins at the same time. Plus I have like kind of like loss in color. Like I said, I'm very fair and I'm older, so we lose a little bit of color. And do you see how this is just kind of very subtle, but you definitely see how that's more balanced. See how I'm just kind of swallow here, you know, yeah, you can see a cheekbone there, but it's just kind of like, it's too hollow. So this kind of warms it up and gives me a little bit of fullness in my cheek. Both of my cheekbones are similar, so I'm going to do the exact same thing. I didn't come down in here too much. I'm just staying back in here in this little section, and I've got a little thing that I can do to add a little bit of warmth. I'm going to have to probably get her. Oh. Hey, Chippy. Okay. All right, so now right in here, I'm kind of purpley red, right in here. I'm going to take a little bit of green, just right there, right at the base of my cheek, right in there. And it kind of helps take care of some of the red that I have there, and it also adds some depth to my cheeks and kind of gives me some lift there. Now I'm going to do the same thing to my forehead. I have the same kind of process. I have pigmentation, green. So anything that's like a muddy color, freckle, age spot is definitely green. Sometimes mine are blue-green because I'm fair. If I have a freckle or an age spot that is in a place that's hollow, like the sides of my face there, or in here, they will typically have a lot of blue-green in them. So anything green, red cancels. So just remember Christmas, red and green cancel each other. I'm using the orange because of the blue. So just remember blue men playing with oranges. So here I'm just balancing out. And see, I have significant age spots up there, but do you see how they're just kind of diffused, softened, add a little bit of warmth up there and some shadow. So I'm going to intensify it just a little bit around my hairline, just a little bit with the NR+1. Right there at the hairline where I have like no color, shows the scalp a little bit, and this just adds some extra dimension. See, it just warms up my forehead nicely. Now I don't have anything in there. Sometimes I'm a little pink right there in the center, so I would take just a little bit of green and dab it and put it right on here. Now down in here, I like to add a little extra shadow, a violet, a purple, just to accentuate some shadow and build color there, because I actually don't have hardly any color there, and I definitely want the extra shadow. See how it just intensifies? She's eating my brush. It's Chippy, I don't know if it's a good idea for letting you loose while I'm live. No, you can't have the brush. Okay. This is a train wreck. Okay. Now, in my chin, I definitely have a lot of bluing in my chin. So I know it doesn't look blue, but there's a lot of excess color there. So just assume anything with excess color is blue. So I'm just canceling that out on my chin just a little bit to add a little bit of warmth and depth. Now I'm going to sculpt out my nose. Red on the right in the front. And down in here, it's kind of red as well. I do have some hyperpigmentation there, which I'll take care of with the brights. So I'm just going to use just a little bit of a green sculpt. And I don't go on the entire nose. I'm just applying the color where I need it. Remember, you can see through this. This is not opaque, so it allows the skin. See how that just added that little extra shadow and balanced out that excess pink color I have on my nose. So how do you see something that looks red? Usually we think something that's very, very bright and has a lot of color in it is red. But red on the skin is actually very pale pink, true red color. So anything with excess color, like right in here, I'll zoom in, right here around the sides of my nose, those broken capillaries that are there, that is definitely very, has excess color, darker than everything else. So it is definitely got more blue in it. Gosh, it's so worth it. Now, just a little here, I have that same color there. So I'm adding just a little bit of the green sculpt right on top there, where it's red on one side more than the other. Okay, right in here, I definitely have a little excess blue, some broken capillaries, so I'm using orange. So remember, blue and orange cancel out each other. Now, while I'm doing sculpt, I'm going to go ahead and sculpt out my eyes. So you can use these on your eyes as well. But the whole purpose of eyeshadows, my husband's weed eating. It's just not going to happen for me. Too many distractions. Okay, so I'm going to sculpt out my eyes because that's the whole purpose of eyeshadow. So if you're looking for more of just make it look like you woke up that way and your eyes are naturally sculpted, that's when you want to use Demi. If I could get his attention. Okay, sorry. All right. I hope that doesn't disturb you. It's, he can't hear anyway. All right, so I'm going to use a really small brush, one of the smaller ends. It's not the smallest that we have. And I'm just going to add a little bit of sculpt. Now, when you come to sculpting the eyes, you have a lot of freedom. You can neutralize color on your eyes. You can add color to your eyes. So if you want something that has a little bit of shadow to it, but has a hint of color, like adding green, that kind of thing. If you have excess color on your eyes, this Demi works wonderful for that as well. I'm going to use a little bit of the green sculpt with this small brush. And I'm just going to accentuate the natural shadow. So leave your eye open naturally. I'm trying to get his attention. Go back. It's okay. All right, so look, I am just wiggling this around right on where the bone, leaving your eye open naturally, looking straight ahead. And just build up. I'm live right now. So I am taking and I'm totally distracted. I totally don't know what I'm saying right now. So I'm just adding a little bit of structure right here. Add a little bit of depth. See the difference? So here I'm just doing the same thing, using that green sculpt and just accentuating the natural structure on that bone, my eye socket. Do you see how that just gives me some natural lift on my eye? And this is using the green sculpt one. I've used the blue sculpt, I've used the purple sculpt, and I've used the red sculpt. Okay, so it's just according to what you want to do if you want to add color there. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the purple sculpt, the violet, right there in the outer corner. Do you hear her? So I'm just adding a little bit of violet right here in the outer corner to give me a little bit of depth. Then I'm going to wipe off the brush and I'm going to take a little bit of the red sculpt. And I just want a little bit of warmth there at my lash line. See, now that's a quick, easy eye. So right here is when I would add the brights. I have an age spot right there, so I'd add a bright there to edit that, but I'll do that when I'm working with the brights. So now after I've done this, I have completed all the sculpt. Now I'm going to do some cheek color. It's orange, red, 7. So it goes like orange, red 1, orange, red 2, and so on. And the higher you go up in the number, the more intensity in the color. So I'm just going to use this one on my cheek, use a fluffy one. The reason why I want this one, because the orange is going to help with the veins that I have here, which are blue. And it also adds a little bit of warmth to my cheeks because I have loss of color. And at the same time, the red is going to take care of some of these age spots. So you see that one right there. It has significant color. So this definitely has some blue in it plus green, because just assume anything that's a freckle or age spot or muddy. This is definitely green, but since it's darker than all these others that you see, just say it has blue in it. So that's just kind of a rule of thumb to help you to see the color. Anything with excess color than anything else, just say it has some blue in it. So I'm going to use the orange for that and some of the red in this to help with the green. So red and green cancel out each other, orange and blue, and then yellow and purple. Just remember, yellow and purple is big bird eating grapes. So here, right on that cheekbone, I am just kind of taking that and gently, oh gosh, I love the cheeks, the colors, is because you do not see this on the skin at all. It is so little, but the color, the power of it is so amazing. Okay, so I've added a little bit of that, and it's diffusing a lot of these. Now I'm going to use a bright for but the bottom half of this has totally been diffused. I'm going to do the other cheek. Same way, and I didn't go over the entire cheek. I'm just kind of staying down right on the roundness of the cheek. Then I'm going to show you a trick with one to add some depth to the structure of it. I feel completely distracted because I'm worried about Gypsy. I've had 2 phone calls while I'm live. Hey, Gloria. I've had 2 phone calls. Actually, 3 phone calls. Mike's been weed eating, and I can't keep up with the dog because I don't trust her. I'm afraid she's going to eat some stuff and eat our dinner. Okay, so now I want to add a little bit of depth down in here into my cheek. So I'm going to use this purple. It's a Violet 7, I think. It's just really intense. And just the smallest amount, and just right in here, it's going to build on a little bit of that shadow. Do you see what that did to my cheek? Oh my gosh. Okay. Gypsy. Right here, right in. So it's like right here is the shadow. So I just came right above it, and it just added a little bit of depth. I do have, because of some yellowing swallow color, this purple really kind of intensifies that a little bit. I mean, cancels that a little bit. Okay, really love that. Now I want this to be a little brighter. So I'm going to use a lighter color, pink. Let me get the color exact. It's OR5, so it's down in intensity. So I'm just going to use a little bit up in here. And what's going to happen, I definitely see I have those blue veins there. The orange in this color is going to take care of that. The hyperpigmentation that I have that goes along with that, see those 2 spots there? I will take care of those with the brights, but there's some really faint ones in there. And when I do that, it's going to diffuse all of those distractions. Now I can take care of all the little distractions using the bright edits. And I like to go to the spot that has, and you learn your distractions really quickly. I would like to go to the spots that have significant color first. So right here, I want to take care, let me wipe this off. I want to take care of the excess color and what shows up most. So this definitely does. I don't want to go up too much because I want that shadow there now. So I want just a little bit there. This is definitely shows where it's kind of tired. I have some hyperpigmentation all in here, which accentuates my wrinkles. So let's take care of those. It sticks out and it shows more than everything else around it. So it just has blue in it. It definitely has a little bit of some purpling to it. So I would need some yellow for that, and I would need some orange for that. So I'm going to use yellow orange to take care of the blue and the purple. And I want to just touch, see how it disappeared? Now what I thought was really dark is not as dark as I thought it was at the beginning, because I went to the spot that has significant color. Here it's just not as bright and bold, and so it looks really just plain blue. So I'm just going to use 01, just an orange, and just touch that little spot only, and see how it brightens up that whole section. So here, see how this is kind of muddy, and because it's in a place that's kind of hollow and sinks in, so muddy is definitely green. So I would need a red, and it's in a place that's kind of hollow, so that makes a shadow. So just say it's blue-green. All right, so the blue-green, I'm going to use something because I have no color and I'm fair. I'm going to use something because I don't want to be more fair. I don't want to be white, you know. I don't want to have absence of color. I'm going to use something called Orange and Red 3. It has a little more pigment in it, more intensity in the colors, more red, more orange in it, and use it. And I'm just going to tap exactly where the excess color is, and not, you don't want to swirl it around and mess it around. You want to be intentional because it's less work. When you take care of it all at once, it's a lot less work. So this little spot is definitely, now I'm going to use just a red one because it's not as dark and it's not in a hollow part. And see how that whole thing just brightened up. It's like magic. So I still have some of that red orange on my brush. So I'm going to go ahead and use what's on there for those same colors. If you get too much, just tap it. Muddy looking, and there's actually a red spot there. So anything red, you take care of green. So I'm going to take care of the red first, red and green. Remember Christmas, and it's not like a bright red. It's like a pale pink. So that's how I find red, is anything that's pale pink. And it doesn't really, you don't really notice it's red until you take care of what's around it. So do you see how that's like a dark spot? So that's like an age spot, and here's one, and it made everything else seem a little darker. So I'm just going to go use the orange red. Again, orange for darker color because it's got blue in it, and red because it's definitely a muddy age spot. I'm doing the same thing. There's others around it the same intensity and color. Okay, that's taking care of. I mean, look at the difference. I really love it. All right. Oh, I got a new friend there. Let's take care of that. See how it looks very pink? See how it looks like I can see it on my skin? That means there's too much. So what you do when you do that, just tap it. And if it goes away, you know you got it right. If it looks ashy or chalky, then you need to go to the orange side. And so that was a really pale pink. I know, isn't that crazy? So really pale pink color. Here's another pale pink. It was a bump and it's healing. So it's very faint. So that's what we call red. Okay, so I'm going to use green, and you're talking tiniest amount. These little tins would last you over a year because it takes so little. So I'm being very intentional. You don't want to swirl it around, and go exactly on the darkest spot. And see how that shows up? Well, either I got too much, so I tap it, and if it doesn't go away, or if it looks chalky, then I need to use orange. That means it had blue in it. Okay, so now there's a little collection of age spots right there. Freckles. That gives me a dark spot on my jaw. So I'm using orange. They're not as, because it's in a hollow part of my cheek. It was definitely going, so anything with shadow. All right, see these age spots right there? I'm going to do the same thing using the red orange that I used up here. Red for the green and orange for the blue because they're significant in color. Oh my gosh, this doggy. See, that took care of, like, it looks like I put makeup all over and I didn't. All right, now right here around my nose I have broken capillaries. So I'm going to take care of them. So broken capillaries. Well, that one right there is pretty dark, so it's got blue in it. And since they're in a hollow part of my nose where you have shadow, definitely blue. And since it's got blood flow in it, so it's going to be red. So I'm going to, not red, it's going to give that purple vibe with that hollow part, the blue. So I'm going to use orange and yellow. Orange for the blue shadow, yellow for that purple looking vein. Does that make sense? Yellow and purple. You just want to be really intentional where you place it. You shouldn't have to put it everywhere. See that totally, look at the difference. See how this looks a lot brighter than over here. And this looks like a very dark circle, but really what it is freckles and age spots in that hollow part, making my wrinkles and all of this show up more, makes me look more tired. But notice I didn't go out here and do all kinds of stuff. I definitely want to take care of that blue spot. You see that blue vein? So blue, I want to use orange. Since it's got blood flow in it, I know it's going to give a purple vibe to it, so I'm using yellow orange. And see how that just totally disappears. You just really want to be intentional where you place it. And that vein goes up in here, and I'm using that same color. See, this looks bright, less tired, and it definitely took care, and that doesn't show off my wrinkles as much because I took care of all those dark areas that show off extra shadow. So I have a little bit of redness, pinkness on my nose right here at which shows off large pores. So just watch that. There's just a couple of red spots that I touch with the green, and it's totally makes my pores do not show up that much. Now I'm going to do my lips. You can have a heyday on the lips. I'm also going to line my lips using this same brush. I'm just wiping it off. I'm going to accentuate the shadows right in here at the bottom of my lip using a violet sculpt. I definitely have hyperpigmentation around my lips and freckles, so it shows off my lines around my mouth, which bother me. So I'm going to take care of that. Oh, I'm going to take care of that little red, that little blue is shadowy right there. Watch this. Just a little bit of orange where it's kind of a shadow. Did you see that? Wow. Okay, so now I'm going to take care of all of these freckles that are all in here, which show off my lines. So I'm going to use the same thing, is the red orange at the same time. I want to do the orange because of the lines for wrinkles, so shadow, and I'm using the red because of freckles are definitely green. So red and green cancel each other out. And the orange is going to cancel out the blue. So blue and orange cancel out. I should say neutralize instead of cancel, but that's the math part of me doing negative and positive. But it's the same idea. See, oh my gosh. There, see, that totally helped with all the lines around my mouth, and just by getting rid of the freckles with the red and using the orange to help with the shadows of the wrinkles. So now I'm going to take and do the same concept on my lips. Notice I have some freckles and dark areas in my lips, which makes them look uneven. And you can see all that. I can do the same thing. So just same rule. Your lips are going to have more blue in it because of blood flow. So I definitely have some freckles in my lips. So do the same thing. using red, and I would use orange for the shadow part of it. But I want to, where I have loss of color around my lip, so I want to, and it will add some volume. Let me use a mirror here. And what I'm using is a violet seven, I think it is. And all this is going to do is add to the purple that's in my lips naturally. That little color looks black. And because I have loss of color, so it's building color. And with this, using Demi this way on your lips, I do not have to put it everywhere on my lips. And so my lip actually goes right there, but it's like it's lost color, I guess due to age. Yay. And so I'm just building on it. I'm going to do the same thing up here. And to give me more of a sharper, clean line. And it's like where I've lost color there at the rim. And then I just want to, and I've been amazed how long this actually lasts and stays there, because it's on the outer part of your lip and it really has a lot of staying power. Plus you're not putting like, it's like a stain almost. Okay, so now I want to use like right in here. It's like a loss of color. So I have a darker perimeter right there. And so this is lighter. So I just want to use that same color very, very lightly. And I just want to add a little color to those spots where I have lack of color. See how this looks more balanced? Same thing here. Here he comes with a leaf blower now. Okay, now I'm going to use a orange, red, and I'm just going to put it over the spots that I see. And you can see it just neutralizes right away those little excess color spots. The orange takes care of, and there are freckles that are in there. And so I'm not putting it all over my lips like lipstick. And see how it gave me more of a naturals, more even tone lip? Yes, I love it. Okay, another little thing I like to do is just use the red one, just for some added dimension, just right there. And I want to use the red because if I happen to miss any hyperpigmentation freckles right in there, and see how it gave me more of a flip. And then I like to take the red one and that little age spot right there, and then right in there. It looks pink in the tin, but it's called red one. And then I'm all done. The last little thing, Gypsy, honey, I love you, but is the balm. Okay, Gypsy. Okay, you're gonna have to get. Okay, excuse me. Oh wow, this has not worked out really well. Sorry. No, Gypsy, don't eat the brushes. All right, so this is a gloss, and it's kind of like an illuminator. It just gives you a nice, healthy illumination. Since there's not product all over my skin and you want a little extra sheen, there's my shoe. She's eating my shoe. Gypsy. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for my shoe. I appreciate that. She's a golden doodle, so she, now I like to take just a little here and then on the lip as well. And it smells like coconuts. It smells so good. See, that's the gloss. See how it just gives you a little extra sheen on the cheek. Love it. So you're seeing actually probably about 75% of my skin is exposed. Since you can see through all of these colors, they're not opaque. So light is able to travel through these colors and travel through the excess color on your skin, and it comes back out and it's filtered. So it's like editing everything on your face as if you had a filter walking around with you. Thank you for joining in. If you have any questions, if you want to be color matched, you can go to yes.altheamatchme.com or just message me. I'll be glad to help you out. Thanks so much for joining in.